Performing a recharge on this 2010 Toyota RAV4. Was in a collision, had a condenser replaced. So I have my temperature sensors on there for superheat and subcooling, ambient temperature in the vent, already injected the UV dye and oil, getting ready for leak tests using the Stratus leak detector once I charge it up, plus my always continuous backup of UV lights. UV lights are only secondary. Electronic leak detector using a heated diode or infrared is primary source of leak testing. UV is just backup. That is not your primary method of looking for dye, or for looking for leaks with dye. This one right here, what we have, this is actually super clean. This is a 2010. Other than a little dust around the wheels, the interior and everything, it looks like it was just purchased this year. This is a clean old 2010 RAV4. But what I noticed as I was walking up to the vehicle was the fin spacing on the actual condenser. That's a really, really wide fin spacing. Right off the bat, I know that is not a Nippon Denso OEM part. This is one of those parts that I dread, and as long as the customer stays in the cool, mild climate of San Francisco, he'll be okay. But it's when this vehicle is operated outside of the area and you start hitting those 100-degree temperatures is when the AC starts failing or giving you poor performance. Even for the gas mileage, that directly reflects your gas mileage because of the high side head pressure. Lugs down on the engine when you're in really hot climate, putting on such a garbage part on a car that has low heat rejection. But that's not this whole thing. I just left the shop, and I'm going to talk about this at this shop because I'm not going to talk about it at the shop that I just left. He thought he was going to make a lot of money doing the R1234YF because he's a body shop, and he has somewhat of a decent volume of cars coming through, and they occasionally need air conditioning done because they're always having front end accidents. So he was gonna jump on the bandwagon like everybody else because they hear about all this great money to be made with R1234YF charging $150 a pound, and you know, they get a volume. So like the other shops, they went out and purchased a brand new machine. Theirs was around $5,800 for this brand new machine. A big name, a very well-known old big name. And he asked me, how long does it take to recharge? Or how long does it take to recover refrigerant? And I go, aha. This is an aha moment. I know what he's asking, because he calls me in. He finally got an R134 machine, but he just got the YF machine. And he's calling me in there. He used to have me do his YF, but since he bought his machine, he stopped calling me in for his YF. But then he started calling me back with problems with the YF, quizzing me, trying to cure his problem over the phone because he was having some issues on some of the vehicles because it was collision. And collision is different than mechanical. You get into some different situations because of the collision. Some things might not work right, and it'll give you non-working air conditioning, and you have to be able to know this. But if you don't know this, you end up with vehicles, you did the AC on it and you send it to the dealer to get it repaired because you can't get the AC running because you own a $5,500 or $6,000 machine. You performed all that work, you wasted your time, it doesn't get working, you end up sending it to the dealer anyway. And you get in charge and you have to pay this, and you wasted your time. Your guy wasted your time, his time of your shop. Instead of doing body shop work, his technician was playing around trying to figure out why the AC. So they pulled it out, charged it again, pulled it out, charged it again. And this has been happening in quite a few of my shops now, who are getting on the bandwagon of buying new machines, and they finally get fed up because the insurance company will not let a body shop charge them mechanical labor rate. So if mechanical labor rate in your area is 170, 190, 220, 230, like here in San Francisco, $260 is not an uncommon labor rate for higher end shops and dealers. That's just the run of the mill. You're going to pay $260, $230. A lower end mechanical shop will be around $170 an hour. A really low end, I don't even call them mechanical shops, they're like hanging on dying, is somewhere around below $150 an hour, and that means their guys aren't getting benefits, they're not getting vacations. Basically they're at the bottom of the barrel in the cesspool. But we won't even include them in this equation. So what's happening is the guys are finding out the insurance companies will not pay them the amount of time it's taking to do a recovery. And he asked me, he says, son of a SOB, the recoveries are taking me 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. He just told me this morning, you know, he had me in there for another YF. They tried to do the recovery and it was on the machine for 4 hours doing a recovery because it has that automatic leak check mode or the automatic refrigerant check mode. If the refrigerant keeps rising up, it will recheck, and if the vacuum has dropped because refrigerant is boiling out of the oil, it'll turn back on again. And it kept doing this for 4 hours. So that was this morning's discussion, and that's why I was doing the recharge, and they actually had me come back in there and do the recovery because the insurance company is not reimbursing them for the time it's taking on these new YF vehicles. With the new EPA rules, the way they have the software written in the machines is very good at extracting all the refrigerant out of the system, but it takes a long time. And if you have a smashed car and you can't run it heated up and you're not in a heated shop, forget it. You're not going to get paid 2 hours to do a recovery. And same with the recharge. And like, so they're just another, I'm getting to is, it's just another shop I came across who mothballed their $5,000 machine because that owner realizes he will never make his money back on that machine through the life of that machine, and how much time his guys have to keep spending trying to diagnose why the newer cars are not working because of other little things related to a collision after they charge up, and keep having to send it to the dealer and losing time on both their technicians' time driving out a car, picking it up, the paperwork they got to go through. So I've been getting, my shops who bought YF machines are now starting to mothball their YF machines, cover them up and just push them off to the corner and just supplement my bill to the insurance company so they could get paid, and they make their margin on it. Gee, bingo, should have thought of that in the first place. That's why I'm here. That's what I do. That's about it. Just it was a very good discussion having with the owner and the shop manager at that shop, who thought they were just gonna make that profit on the new YF machines and ended up taking it into shorts and getting down on their knees to the insurance companies and then just giving up and packing away their machine. That's it. But on this one, not a good condenser. I can't see a sticker to give you a name of this condenser, and I can't see, yeah, I can't even see, looking down in the top, I can't see the name of this one. But that's about it, guys. Just another shop taking it into shorts by an insurance company not paying them for the work that they need to do. For a dead stall for a couple hours is money lost. If you're even if you're a body shop and you're a cheap body shop and you're only charging $120 an hour or something like that here in San Francisco, that car is dead with a machine hooked up to it for 2 or 3 hours here in wintertime doing a recovery, instead of another car in that stall with a bodyman working on it at $120 an hour, plus putting hundreds of dollars in parts on it at that profit margin on parts plus labor per hour, but it's dead because it has a machine sitting on it for hours. Yeah, the R1234YF bandwagon for making high profit just isn't there, and the shop owners are discovering the sad truth because they listen to a salesman or they listen to an insurance company. See you on the next one, guys.